jump in the back of the pickup truck and join us for a ride back to the good old days.
Are you telling me that you built a time machine?
A nostalgic podcast based on entertainment and memories from the 70s, 80s, and early 90s. Come with us and revisit the best time ever. So jump on your BMX bike, pop a heavy metal tape into your Walkman, and hang on tight while you go back to the past with us.
Surely you can't be serious.
I am serious, and don't call me Shirley.
Hey, welcome to Pastimes at 80s High. We're going to do another episode of We're Preachers of the Night. I have Brother Mark here with me tonight. How are you, brother?
I'm doing pretty well tonight, man. How's it going?
Awesome, thank you. Awesome. So we're going to do our top 7 Vinnie Vincent songs. These are songs that, kiss Vinnie Vincent songs, obviously. And I want to list them off for you. So first we have Creatures of the Night, which we have I Love It Loud, I Still Love You, and Killer. Then we go into Lick It Up with Exciter, Not for the Innocent, Lick It Up, Young and Wasted, Gimme More, All Hell's Breaking Loose, A Million to One, and On the Eighth Day. Damn, did he have a lot to do there. And then we go way up to 92 to Revenge. And that has Unholy, Heart of Chrome, and I Just Wanna. So I guess tonight, Mark, I'm going to give you the honors. I think I started out with our last preachers. So I'm going to hand it over to you.
Okay, AJ, thank you. My first song is from the record name Revenge. This song is probably about a sociopath, perhaps a psychopath. Paul's running around. He's doing fine. Life is going good. They just did a great record. And guess what? He meets this bitch. And she's just absolutely running roughshod all over him. And she ruined his life. And, this is a great song, AJ. I love the chorus. I love the way that Vinny. I love the way that Paul sings on this, and it's a great song, and it's an angry song, and, that's one of the reasons I like it. So that's my number 7, and that's Heart of Chrome.
Oh, awesome song, man. Such a great tune. Actually, what's his name? Chris Jericho did that with Quarantine. He has that little side band he does, and it's awesome. You got to look it up.
What a class act that guy seems to be.
Oh, he is. He's so cool. So cool.
He sure is, man.
He's a fan. He is a music fan. Awesome.
Wouldn't it be great to get him on the cast? That would be a lot of fun, man.
So my number 7 here is what we would call a ballad or a power ballad, but it's I Still Love You. I find this to be one of Paul Stanley's greatest vocals. I've seen them live so many times, and I've seen him perform this song incredibly, and I just love it. But, there's such a tasteful solo in it. One of Paul's greatest vocals of all time. It's just a song on the album that I thought should have been, bigger than it was. Of course, they couldn't get arrested during Creatures of the Night, but, the version they did in Unplugged, just amazing. Just amazing.
It was great.
Mm-hmm. So that's number 6 to you, Mark.
Well, my number 6 is a song about a girl who happens to be married to Dan Aykroyd.
Ah, yes.
Her name is Donna Dixon, and the song is I Still Love You.
Yeah.
And I thought that Ace really played a great lead on that. And, I know he played lead guitar on that record because it said right in it, his picture's on the record.
I know.
His picture is on the record, and it says guitars by Vinnie Vincent and Ace Frehley. They wouldn't lie to us, would they?
Of course, they would never do such a thing.
I mean, he was on the videos, for God's sakes. There's even a video with him on Creatures of the Night over in Europe. But no, seriously, though, it's a heartfelt song, and
Amazing.
it is really, it's a great song. So that's all I'm going to say about it.
Great pick. All right. So number 6 to me, and, I will put a little fatigue onto this one, but it's the title track off Lick It Up. I mean, I had to do it. It was just, Vinnie Vincent came in on Creatures and had writing credits all over this album. And this song just, of course, this is when MTV was really kicking off and Kiss was doing their post-apocalyptic videos, which, they're eating the turkey legs and the dinosaur legs, whatever you want to call it. Gene looked absolutely terrible. Actually, Gene and Vinny didn't look so great. Paul kind of fit in with this, and so did Eric. But, the first no makeup album, it was just an awakening, I think, for a lot of us Kiss fans, and it was really kick-ass. But, I mean, it's, from what I hear from guitar players, can be pretty simple, but just the little riff and the vocals and the chorus, it really helped rope some people back in. So, anyway, to you, my brother.
Okay, well, number 5, I went with an anthem. It's from Creatures of the Night, which actually should have been the comeback record, but the fans were really fatigued at that point, and, only the diehards stuck with them.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, Creatures was such an incredible record.
Incredible.
And my pick is Love It Loud. It's an anthem. It's basically, if you're too loud, you're too old. Mm-hmm. And I don't find any songs that I like too loud. So even though I'm going to be 60 in June, I guess it means I'm not really old.
Right. That's right.
And I love the guitar chords on this. They're very simple. It's an easy song to play. The lead is basically like 3 or 4 double stops, but it's an anthem. The video was incredible. They even played it in the farewell tour, but I love that song, and I didn't like it at first, but it grew on me. So that's what I have for number 5.
All right. Well, brother, all of you folks out there as well know that Mark and I are brothers, because my number 5 is also I Love It Loud, which pretty much has been in every set list since Creatures, really. But for me, this video is where it takes me. Sometimes it takes me to Exposed, when they show them in Rio de Janeiro in front of however many hundreds
over
of
100,000 people. Sorry to interrupt you. But...
Well, I was going to say over the hundreds of thousands Gene picks that day.
That was incredible.
It could be 400,000. It could be 400,000 people, 300,000, or 80,000, but it was friggin' massive. And if you look at the video, I said this in a previous cast, but you can see that transition where they're coming out of the makeup, by how they're dressed, everything about it. However, when I say where this takes me back to 1982, where, I'm in my parents' living room watching Radio 1990 or whatever the show was at this point, Night Flight, whatever, but to see that boy kneeling on the floor in front of the television and seeing, the whites in their eyes, the Creatures of the Night, it just puts me into a living room with a shag carpet in the 80s, and my hair's standing up on my arms right now, and that's no joke. I'm showing Mark, but it's just, it takes me back, right to that part of my life, and that I find so fucking incredible about it. So that's what I will say. That's how I'll end it. Number 4 to you, Mark.
All Hell's Breaking Loose from Lick It Up. This is, to me, it's almost like Skid Row did their song years later, Youth Gone Wild, but in a different way. This is a big finger to the establishment. Like, don't tell me how to dress. Don't tell me how to act. Don't tell me how to have my hair. And it's ballsy, and it's, what's the word you use for Lick It Up? The
post-apocalyptic. Mm-hmm.
Thank you.
Yep.
Those two videos are incredible. So I went with All Hell's Breaking Loose, and and Vinny's solo on that, and Vinny's solo playing. This is a Vinny episode.
Yes.
And he maybe not so much in concert, but his solos, Vinny's solos were melodic and but very fast.
Mm-hmm.
And it's a great solo, and I can't say enough about that song.
No, incredible. And here we go. So to my number 4, and let's see if we can't pick the same 4 here. But for me, it's also, I mean, remember, folks, there's only 14 songs to pick from, but mine is also All Hell's Breaking Loose. A little rap from Paul Stanley. The whole song is just friggin' cool. And Vinny's solo in it, like Mark said, melodic and tasteful, which you didn't really get out of them when they were live. You got Paul Stanley, Gene Simmons trying to shut him the fuck up, but man, did he have some tasteful solos on these records. So let's go to number 3, Mark, and see if we have any differences in these top 3.
I believe we probably will, but I saw something today where they interviewed Paul on Creatures of the Night, and he did mention when they got into concert, the songs were done so fast.
Oh man, so fast.
Oh no, it was like a sprint to the end of the show. I don't know what they were doing at the end of the show.
What do you mean? I was there. I saw him in Worcester, and it was 7 minutes. That was a joke, but yeah, absolutely.
So I went with Young and Wasted.
Mm-hmm.
This is a very violent song. One of my favorite lyrics in that song is, need an answer fast, and you're running out of time, and the night goes on for days. It's just,
awesome
you're
song.
branded by the iron. You've been cut by the knife. There's a monkey on your back running up and down your spine. It's just ballsy.
Out song. Absolutely.
I mean, I if you look back at all the Gene and Vinny songs, I mean, I don't know if that's more Vinny or Gene, or if they just really were angry at the time.
Yeah,
but
or they just hit it off, man. The connection.
Shred your freaking body to pieces.
Your brain.
So, and I love this hit Vinny's guitar solo on that, and I love the bridge.
Awesome.
Great song. Eric Carr sang it in concert, by the way.
Well, you know what? I'm glad you brought that up, Mark, because I wanted to ask your opinion on that. Because as much as I love Eric singing it, especially on Live Uncensored, the MTV concert, I wanted to ask your opinion on it. Like, not your opinion on Eric, but what you think, if Gene should have sang it, or if was this a rest for Gene, like little break in the concert?
Well, I mean, it's hard to believe that he was able to reach that octave in his voice on the record. I think that Gene should have kept singing it, but was he capable of singing it? I guess that's the question.
Live, yeah.
Or are they just trying to appease Eric?
Yeah. Well, that's what I mean. And not necessarily appease Eric too, but maybe give Gene a little break.
It's possible. I mean, and also, it doesn't really matter. The song, they did it in what, a minute and 14 seconds,
exactly.
Probably. So,
but either way, it was fucking great, and it's a great song for sure.
Yes, it is. Yes, sir.
All right, number 3 to me, and this is where I struggled. My top 3, because I love all of these songs, but my number 3 is Not for the Innocent off of Lick It Up. There's not one part of this song that I don't fucking love. I mean, I find it so battle axe. I mean, just a kick-ass Gene vocal. just the growls and the grunts, incredible guitar, incredible choruses, just everything about it. I can't think of a bad thing to say. And I've said this a million times. I mean, of course, you folks don't know that because we're just launching this cast, very soon. But my brother, our late brother David, did a version of it that we have on CD, and it just has a special place in my heart, and I'm sure Mark's too. So with that, I will leave you to number 2, brother.
I went with a song from Revenge. It is the initial song on the record. It's called Unholy. This is when they finally, they were playing pop rock. I mean, I don't know if you want to call it pop rock or arena rock for like
or
records.
What everybody or Eddie Trunk hates, and I don't love hair metal.
Right. Well, Anyway, when this song came out, and again, another violent song. I mean, the lyrics say, I'm the incubus. What the incubus is? A troublesome burden. I mean, he's saying that he's just an evil son of a bitch.
Absolutely.
And again, a Vinny and Gene song. This is I don't know if it's a violent song, but more of a unclean spiritual song, if you will. But it's a great tune. It's like, we're back. We're here playing heavy metal again, and this is what we do. This is when we're at our best.
Absolutely. And just to continue on what you have to say, Mark, my number 2 is also Unholy. I mean, this song, as you know, is the return of Gene Simmons to most of us Kiss fans. I mean, you want to talk about badass, evil, demon Gene coming back into the fold. He looked kick-ass when this album came out. But most importantly to me, and the meaning for this, and Mark remembers this as well, and I'm sure he will chime in on this, but when I saw this fucking video on the Headbangers Ball for the first time, we had no idea this song was coming, and I look, and this guy's eyes are rolling in the back of his head. I didn't even know it was Gene. I walked into the room, and holy fuck, it was just so badass. Yeah, exactly, The Undertaker. But where was Paul Bearer? But it was just so awesome that before I went to bed, I left my brothers a note on my bedroom door, letting them know that Kiss has released an album, and Unholy was one of the greatest songs I've ever heard in my life, and they are back.
You said Unholy is the best song I've ever heard. That's what you put on.
Oh, I loved it, man.
Oh, no, we were tickled when we came home to see that.
Yeah. So. All right, bro. We are at number 1, man.
Well, this is a love song. It's Gene and Vinny's love song. It's called Not for the Innocent.
Oh, man.
Gonna tan your hide, rip the flesh off your bone, look in the eye, and you're gonna turn to stone.
Unbelievable song.
Absolutely just, I know, I use the word all the time, bone crushing. And it's
a good
the
word
solo,
for it.
everything. It's just dark. It is so dark. And this has probably been one of my top 3 Kiss songs. And
yeah,
I mean, I just don't know what you talked about the song as well. Yeah, brother David played it. I play it all the time at home. And
just incredible.
It's just violent. It's violent. And, the last 3 songs I picked, I'm a little concerned about myself right now. I think maybe I should get some psychotherapy or maybe check myself into to some kind of funny farm. But this is, that's just, like I said, Kiss is at their best when they write songs that are,
or when Vinnie Vincent writes songs with them.
Oh, jeez. Oh, jeez. Yeah, there's a little common denominator. I mean, Carnival of Souls, you would think that he was on that one too, but he wasn't. But
right. Yeah.
So.
I mean, that song, Mark, I mean, we've said it all. I mean, there is not one bad aspect of that song. I mean, just the Gene's voice, just oh, 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 the outro on it, just the whole fucking thing is amazing. Awesome. So that brings me to number one, which we're going to go a little lighter hearted here. And this is one of my favorite Kiss songs of all time off of Lick It Up. And that is 1,000,000 to 1. This song to me was a no-brainer for a single. Should have been a huge hit. Just and talk about Vinnie Vincent solos being tasteful, melodic. It's just, I always have said that, you see Paul and them shutting him down in concert, like you feel like in the studio, someone had to be there either just cutting it short or just whatnot, but incredible. And it's also one of Paul Stanley's greatest vocals of all time, in my opinion. He did it on his solo tour when he went out with Bob Kulick and Eric Singer. He did it again when he went out again later on the Live to Win tour. I mean, this song just, it's kind of like A Reason to Live to me, where, I mean, the song A Reason to Live is, if Bon Jovi or Def Leppard or one of those bands at that time that was selling diamond albums had done this, it would have been on the top of the fucking charts. So that's my number one.
Yeah, it's just another breakup song for Paul. And, he's had his share of them, and he's very emotional, and he shows it in his lyrics. And, we've all gone through it. It's not easy, but, I'm sure he had 3 or 4 women in his hotel room that night, so I'm sure he's okay.
Yeah, he'll make it through the night.
Yes.
Awesome. Well, that was great fun, Mark. Now, what we're going to do here is, this is one of our first 10 episodes, so we're trying some new things out here. So what we're going to try to do is, when we do these episodes, we're going to try to get people involved that are not, built into a subject. For example, Mark and I are massive Kiss fans, so we're going to try to, pull people in. And when we do movies, this person might not be huge into it. But what we're going to do is we're going to call in our buddy Kevin, who's not a huge Kiss fan, and he's going to tell us, we sent him the 14 songs last night, and we're going to see what his choices were. So be patient with us, and we're going to let him chime in.
Roadrunner, what was that?
Hey, Kev, you there?
I am here.
Okay.
Where else would I be?
Well, Mark, can you hear Kevin?
I can.
Awesome, man. So,
And I can hear Mark.
Good. So, Mark and I are here, and we have just finished our top 7 Vinnie Vincent songs. And I was just checking in with you because I know I sent them to you. And one thing we were discussing is, having people chime in on these, episodes where someone might not, be so invested. So I feel like that'll be a great way to get all of us, gaining more knowledge and whatnot. So I'm curious if you happen to, look into any of those songs and if you had any input.
Absolutely. And
Nice.
being the novice, nowhere near the Kisspert. Kisspert, is that a thing? Kiss expert?
It is now.
That's a new
the
word,
White
brother.
Brothers, the White Brothers are. I am definitely a thief in the house of love here. I am a stranger in a strange land. No, not exactly. I have always been a fan of Kiss, but way less knowledgeable than the present company. I did listen to the Vinnie Vincent choices.
Awesome.
And, not having that much depth of knowledge, I wasn't aware that he only had think it was at 14 or 13. Did I miscount?
14.
No, it was 14. Maybe I didn't
14,
send
okay.
you one.
No, it was. I thought you had said 13. Whatever, doesn't matter. So I kind of went through them, and again, I've got obviously a different take, because to me, being a, call it fair weather or part-time Kiss fan, I just, I didn't follow them album to album. I mean, of course, the early stuff was.
You would have been
just,
moved out of our home.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, I've been sleeping underneath the house. I don't doubt that. Probably slightly bruised from Mark and David as well.
Yeah.
Just for
Yeah,
even
well,
daring to have some other opinions. But I thought it was interesting going through that because, bringing in a totally different songwriter, different guitarist after something had been, so established, is always a difficult transition. And I know that you've mentioned that Vinny had some issues along the way. Seems to be a theme with their guitarist.
Yeah.
But definitely a great songwriter. So I'm going to go ahead and run down what I've got here, which might not be narrowed down to 7. But let me keep count.
I will.
For me.
Get the rules right, Kevin.
I'm sorry, Mark. I'm sorry. I will start off by saying that, and it's going to be difficult. I mean, you are Kiss.
Yeah.
And then you're changing, and you have to change. And like I said about like AC/DC, how does Angus Young not sit down and rewrite Back in Black? Just,
Right.
You start playing and you start working on a riff, and it turns into something. And so anyway, I thought they were very conscious on those 3 albums of not necessarily replicating Destroyer over and over again.
Right.
But so my first pick, my number 7, would be Not for the Innocent.
Oh,
And I will just say that it was like all I could hear was Dokken.
nice.
Really?
And I didn't even get a chance to look at the dates of the albums, but everything that I listened to, I was like, oh my God, that, and I don't know if it was the predecessor to these bands or if it was where Vinny was, but I mean, definitely there's a lot of,
Just to share with you, because it's very quick and easy because there's only 3 of the albums. So
Right.
Lick It Up, which you have chosen Not for the Innocent off, which was my number 3 and Mark's number 1.
oh wow.
Yep. This is from 1983 off of Lick It Up. And then the previous one is Creatures of the Night, which was 1982. 1982. And then Revenge was 1992. So you are not far off from Dokken with Not for the Innocent because, God, yeah, that's right when they were getting
absolutely.
big. Mm-hmm.
Yep. So my number 6 pick now, Young and Wasted.
Oh, yes.
Which, and here's the thing though, and I mean, you guys, I don't know if you're going to get pissed at me or what, but Skid Row.
Yeah.
I mean, that could have been a
Mark,
Skid Row
I
song.
swear to God, I think Mark said that. Mark, did you
I
say
know. I
that?
said Skid Row about a different song.
Okay.
Oh, did you? But that one just, I don't know. That's what I heard. And again, I'm not trying to, I'm sure you guys have gone way deep into all these songs and every bit about them. So I'm trying to figure out, what can I say as, an outsider. And so I just figured that's what I just kind of relate to.
Yeah.
Again, because you can't be from the first 4 albums over and over again. You have to be,
Yeah.
you have to remain relevant and do a different. I would think you would get fucking bored. If
Right?
you just if you made rock and roll over and over.
Right. That's why this is awesome. I
Right.
enjoy this very much.
Hey, Kevin,
my next-
question.
Oh yeah, go ahead, Mark.
No, I'm curious. What about the song reminded you of Skid Row? Because, I mean, lyrically, it doesn't really, to me, sound anything like Skid Row. You talking about the guitars?
I was talking about like the rolling guitar and bass, kind of like maybe Piece of Me or something like that. Kind of
Okay.
fit into
Just
that
heaviness.
that kind of feel. Just that heavy kind of. But the approach, the attack on the instruments, just kind of had that.
Oh yeah, they attack those
a
things
little bit of a
for sure.
Rachel Bolan kind of feel to it.
Awesome.
Okay.
So then the next up would be "Give Me More," which honestly, two people came to mind, and this is pretty distant, but it honestly made me think of both Uncle Ted and Judas Priest.
Definitely Priest, I can see.
Yeah. So,
Nice.
and now I'm just gonna get into straight like songs that I was like I didn't know that that it was a different writing crew, but just kind of loved as Kiss songs.
Mhm.
And that would be next up would be Heart of Chrome,
Awesome.
which is like wow, that was awesome. I Just Wanna, which is just kind of tongue in cheek and funny.
And that's just to cut you off there real quick. That's Summertime Blues, Paul Stanley version.
Oh God.
Yeah.
Yes.
Oh, see, that's exactly what I was thinking. I'm like, man, this is Eddie Cochran. This is exactly.
This is so awesome. This is what I love. See, this is a prime example of somebody not knowing that. That's why I want you to attack me with Frank Zappa and have me chime in, because I think it's going to be so different and so incredible. Sorry to cut you off, Kev.
No, not at all. Not at all. I totally agree. You accept an artist. It's like, remember we've had the conversations about, oh, your buddy's an idiot. Yeah, well, he's our idiot. We grew up with him, and he always does stupid shit, but he's our idiot, so we deal with him. If you're coming in from outside, you're like, I don't want to deal with this idiot.
All right,
okay.
Continue, Kev.
So, yeah. So, it's you love them for all their faults.
Right.
And when you're as invested in Kiss as you guys are, then sometimes you're harder on them, but sometimes you just accept them, for whatever they're doing. You know what I mean? It's just once you're vested in a human, a band, whatever, you have a different outlook.
Absolutely.
But having said that, my next pick I picked because I am cool. I am free.
Ah, that a boy.
Which was just like,
Okay.
I mean, that was a song that was like, it kind of embodied the times, the sound-wise, lyrically, all of that, but it was still Kiss.
Mhm.
It was, you know what I mean? Even though you've got what did you call it? The Paul rap.
The Paul
at the
rap.
beginning.
Yeah.
Yeah, what do you guys call it? Which is, I mean, it was, some of the music that we love gets a little dated sometimes. I'm not saying that one does, but people are bands like that go on forever to try to stay relevant. What was the disco song? I Was Made for Loving You. I mean, and the thing is, we were talking about that not too long ago, and it's like, yeah, we all shit on disco, but Kiss did a disco song. The Grateful Dead did a disco song. I mean, everybody took their shot at it, even though we were burning fucking records in the middle of the fucking baseball field. So then for number one, I mean, which is kind of blew me away that a not original lineup guy, a replacement, if you will, wrote this, because it's, to me, one of the quintessential fucking Kiss songs. I mean, it embodies Kiss, Gene, all of that. I fucking love it loud.
Yeah.
I mean, that is fucking just in your face. Like, you can't deny that's nobody else could do that song.
Absolutely.
I mean, they could, but it would suck.
Right.
You've got to be
Moss Eisley. Yep.
huge on the stage. You have to be wearing fucking high heels with fangs on them to get up and go, with
Fucking
the
right.
Gene. He's the demon. It's fucking awesome.
Awesome, man.
So that's my lightning round breakdown of Novice.
Yeah, man. I mean,
of Vinnie Vincent.
the only song on your list that both Mark and I hate is "Gimme More." but you nailed the rest of it. And that is entirely your thing, which is cool. You know, it's
Nice.
because that song, if done by someone else, could have been incredible. It was just not a Paul song to us, but
What? Give me more.
yeah.
He's just trying to tell everyone how much he loves girls.
Nope. It's just fucking great.
Jury's still out on that one in my mind.
Yeah.
But
I know
It's
shit.
very subtle.
Not
I
that
mean, I've
there's-
talked about
not
this
that there's
before, but it's a
anything
very
wrong with
subtle
that.
song.
Very subtle.
Oh,
But I
geez.
think what Kevin's point is here is that we sure it's not about a guy. But, yeah. Awesome. Well, what a great friggin' episode, guys. That was a lot of fun. I mean, only 14 songs to choose from, and to cut that in half to our top 7 was so incredibly difficult. I mean, there were a few, you know, that some of us put out of there and some of us loved. So it just goes to show you, man, different tastes. So I think that was a lot of fun. And thank you, Mark and Kevin. Thank you for calling in.
Oh,
thank you guys.
Absolutely.
Yeah, thank you, AJ. Thank you, Kevin, for calling, and that was fun. And we'll do it again soon. Thank you.
Absolutely.
All
And
right.
thank-
I'm in.
And thank you out there for listening to another episode of Preachers of the Night. Yeah, that was terrible, but a little sidecast of Pastimes at 80s High. And we thank you for listening and hope to see you again real soon.
At least you weren't lip syncing.
You've been listening to Pastimes at 80s High. Our passion is the nostalgia from the 70s, 80s, and early 90s. When times were more simple, times were more fun.
Hey, bud, let's party.
And we weren't stuck in our phones all day.
Inconceivable!
We hope you've enjoyed the show. If you did, make sure to like, rate, and review. We'll be back soon, but in the meantime, you can send an email to pastimes@80shigh@gmail.com and hit the website at pastimes@80shigh.com. See you next time.
We came, we saw, we kicked its ass.